Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to start today's session with a quick chat. I got the chill music going. I woke up and I wanted to write some stuff, kind of just write out my thoughts on the climb and kind of just share it with you, if anybody wants to know. I have pretty much condensed where my brain is at on this climb down to a document. I'm gonna be doing or I'm gonna try to do weekly rundowns, week every 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to consistently update my audience, and also just to kind of like pull out basically my thoughts on things. And by that I mean just kind of writing down, because basically this is for me and this is also for you, and this is also just for my clarity of what it is I'm doing and why. So I'm gonna go through this Korea update that I wrote down this morning. I'm gonna add in my own little thoughts in here, but I wanted to try to piece together some things. So first we'll talk about my gameplay, we'll talk about the climb, and then we'll talk about the stuff that I'm noticing about the ladder, the stuff that I don't really like so much, and then we'll probably just get into grinding, and I'll kind of, with this newfound knowledge. Oh, and we have to get through the patch, I guess, so maybe I should do that as well. Okay, so let's get this started right. We are about 2 weeks in on the season. The account is not doing so hot. That's okay. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. 103 over 137. Jungling is still crap. Still crap. But let's talk about what I wrote in the document. So 2 weeks, mostly playing jungle. For now, I'm going to stay on Hecarim because I like the flexibility of the pick. I've seen, I've really dialed back the amount of comments and feedback I've been even bothering to read, because it's just so baseless a lot of the time. But there are some that are valid that I wanted to address. So firstly, obviously trying new champions is bad. That's just obvious, right? Like I've been like a big proponent of that in my coaching. But what people fail to understand is that this climb is not relevant to my viewers. It's not the same thing. Playing in Korea is just a different beast entirely. I've been trying to find something in the jungle that I enjoy playing and that I think checks a lot of boxes and is flexible. So when I say that, what I'm saying is that essentially what I'm saying is that, you need a jungler that can gank early, that could power farm, that can carry, that could engage, that could duel. Like, you need a lot of boxes checked in solo queue, I find. At least that's how I like to play. I like to have options. Every single jungle that I've fucked with up until this point has a share of problems that I don't like. For example, so like I played Maokai, won a shit ton with Maokai. Maokai's broken. Well, then he started getting picked and banned a lot. Well, I can't really play him all the time, right? Then I started messing with Zach. And he's good, but like he's a tank. So it just feels like I'm doing a lot of like run my champion into people and like hope it works and like hope the fight works. It doesn't feel like I'm carrying as much as I am like giving my team a chance. It's not, I just don't like it. I just don't fucking like it. Kindred, it's like Kindred could invade well, could snowball pretty well, but then it's like you're kind of like locked at, you have no engage, you have like no, again, it's flexibility. Elise is good, same problem though, picked and banned a lot. And I guess this is what I'm trying to say, is that like it's a really tough act to find a champion that you both enjoy. Like, I am spending way too many, an unhealthy amount of man hours playing solo queue right now. It is not fun unless you have something that you enjoy. I really like Hecarim right now because I feel like I have a lot of like, I could have fucked around with this. I could have tried this. I could have done this. Like, it just gives me a lot of it's not like the helplessness of like Nidalee, right? Where you play Nidalee and you have a pop-off game, and then you play the next Nidalee, everybody dodges your spears, or your champion just falls off and you're useless. And you just, it's fun, but there's a line somewhere in the middle, and I've really struggled to find it with the jungle, where it's like I like the champion and I like the options that I have, and I feel like I have a say, and I don't have as many like I can't do anything type of games. So that's why I really like Hack Room right now. And even though the result hasn't been good, I think that a lot of that's on me, itemization, play style, and just kind of learning and feeling out the fights and all that. I'm probably going to stay the course with him for a bit and see if he can hold up. But I really do like the game flow with him. And I always have. I played him kind of at the beginning, but I wasn't really great at him in the beginning. And I'm getting a better handle on how he fills in on the server, like what he does, and how people mechanically respond to him, and it just feels better. And I wanted to reiterate, I think I need to say this a lot, because I feel like with all the drama content and like weird cosplaying that's going on out there, where people are pretending that like this diamond elo in Korea is anything like anywhere else in the world, any like my viewers games or like even critics games, like most players don't even beat gold. So I don't know why everybody's pretending that like they're talking from a position of like it's couch quarterbacking. I say that a lot. They're speaking from a position that they have themselves have never been in. And you know how I know that most people haven't been in? Because the jungle just came out. And that's how fucking crazy the League community is. The new jungle just came out. Literally 2.5 weeks ago. It just happened. You understand? It's different. So not only is it different, but it's on a really, really hard server mechanically, which I'll get to in a bit. We'll talk more about that. But this climb is not about beating low elo. Like I've beaten low elo countless times. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take a style that is really new and climb up to high elo with it. And so that's going to take time, and it's going to take effort, and it's not just going to happen overnight, and it's certainly not going to happen to somebody who is not specialized exclusively in this new jungle. First of all, I've never specialized exclusively in one play style for more than like a season or two, but the new jungle and this server is just tough, and it's kicking my ass if I'm being honest. And I wrote here, jungling after preseason work still seems to be a huge problem point for me. Yeah, and honestly, I have my suspicions as to why. I don't really give up or anything. I don't shut down. I think I'd make some bad mid-game decisions. Those have tightened up a bit. I also don't think I really understood the tempo of early game and where I could actually play early game here. But if I'm being honest, I think that Korea is weird because ganks that shouldn't work often on my side and on the enemy side. So it's like if I 3 camp and go bottom, I will normally get a kill. It's so stupid. I feel like it's a handshook thing that if you just go to bottom or go to mid on level 3, you always get the kill if you gank. If you gank the way that your champion's designed to gank, you will probably almost always get the kill. It is so stupid. But it's like something that I haven't really taken advantage of nearly enough here. If you play your gank mechanically right, you normally get paid off here, which is dumb. It's very, very dumb. Let's talk about the new jungle in Korea more specifically. So you actually don't get to power farm and win. If you try to do that, usually you're going to just lose through bot lane, in my experience. Again, I've been playing here long enough to where it is not just like a low sample thing. It happened in the preseason, it happened at the end of last season, and it is happening now. There is no doubt in my mind that if you try to power farm, you can win, I guess, but it's gonna be like kind of lucky. It doesn't feel like it'll happen enough. Because what happens is like some Samira bot lane shit gets like giga fed, and you just can't do anything to it. Like, you cannot stop it. So it feels like you either have to counter gank it or just do something very, very productive in the opposite side of the map instantly, or the gank almost always pays for the enemy jungler, and you're always fucked, it feels like. So yeah, that's just not, it doesn't feel good. So yeah, the most progress that I have made jungling, and by progress, I don't even mean winning. I just mean the amount of like agency that I scoop up is just by spam ganking bot lane. Like, this is something I never instruct clients to do ever. And I wouldn't still ever. But like, I'll skip camps randomly now to just path to a wave that's crashing. Like, I just do weird ass shit now. And it honestly, it feels like it has to happen a lot of the time, because when I look at this shit, like, I go to bottom and like a jungler shouldn't be gank. They like, it's basically, if a jungler can gank on the enemy team, he's probably going to, is how I view it. So you have to be there. Another thing I want to reiterate is that they're mechanically good. So that means that when they gank pretty fucking well. Their ganks are scary. So it's like your team doesn't really just back down. They try to always outplay it. And if you're there to outplay it with them, it's great. It's just how it is. But it's just not what I instruct clients to do. So yeah. So for pretty much all the games, I think I cracked yesterday and typed a little bit, but like I really wasn't even angry, to be honest. I was just like fucking around. I have not typed pretty much for the past like 2 weeks since the start of the season. I think I've said like a handful of like in-game commands sometimes on typing. I flamed some people yesterday in the post game, which got my chat restricted, but I really haven't typed. Honest to God, I haven't. And I could be pretty transparent. The stream can verify, like, I've rarely typed. About 99% of all playtime, I've not typed. But I truly, and I'm not trying to encourage you guys to type. I'm just reporting my findings. Now, I don't speak Korean, so that's probably part of it. It's a lot less triggering if you can't read half the shit. But honest to God, I haven't felt much of an improvement on how people behave. I just haven't noticed anything really. Because I was flaming people at the preseason I think, and during the actual, like, the end of last season, I was typing here and there all the time. I'm honestly not. I feel like people troll, sell items, do douchey shit all the time anyways. I feel like typing or not typing to them hasn't actually changed it, which we'll talk about below some more about the culture here. This isn't really what people want to hear, but I do find it funny that I'm getting a lot of like flack for a lot of like in-game performance stuff, but the stuff that I'm doing correctly, like, no one acknowledges or just pretends that I'm not doing these things, like VOD reviews, like reviewing games, which I'm going to get to here in a second as well. But like, there's been a lot of stuff that I've adjusted that's not really doing much. Reviewing is not really effective at the moment. I'm not talking about VOD reviews. I'm talking about writing down the games. The reason I say it's not really effective is because it's meaningless. Like, when you go to write something down, especially after a loss, it just feels like you're venting. Which I could make an argument that it's kind of healthy, I guess, to just be like, this guy fucking sucks. Like, I personally feel like if I'm not typing to the guy, if I'm like venting, a lot of people get like, I don't know, like secondhand offended by this. They say, oh, focus on you, blah, blah, blah. But like, there's plenty of odds where I'm like, I fucked this up. Oh, I did this wrong. I could have eat here. I could have did this. But I feel like people are like, they turn the volume off on that part and like turn the volume up on like NEACE saying teammate sucks. Like, bro, other than the language chosen, like there's not much that I'm saying here that's completely wrong. Like, if I go to make a gank and we'll say a Blitzcrank runs forward early and dies on the gank, like, we could sit here and say like, oh, you could ping him a little bit or, you know, whatever the fuck. But like, acknowledging that the guy like ints is not, it's not as toxic as people are trying to pretend it is, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, they're trying to say that like I never go through VODs and like never take any responsibility for anything that happens in that game, which is just untrue. Because I literally sit here all the fucking time and I go, oh man, I think I could have did this. I could have did this. I could have did this. But I don't know. I think people, like I said, have a thing with just merely even analyzing the game, which again, I will fight tooth and nail. Part of the game is you make a play, you ping something or whatever, you set up the play. If something goes wrong, bro, you have to figure out why it's wrong. You can't just go, oh, I could have done more. Like, you can't always do that. Like, you have to at least look at the situation and be like, what is wrong with this play? Right? You go in, Blitzcrank misses a hook, you still make the play, right? Maybe on you. You go in, play gets really tight, enemy ADC heals, your ADC doesn't heal. It's kind of your fault, but like not really. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, when we're talking about the top end of like mechanical limits here, it gets a little tricky with certain champions and fights and playstyles and things, because these guys are so good mechanically that things really do come down to like auto attack spacing, or like the angle that you ganked, or like someone just like throwing an ability right before the gank comes, or it just gets weird. So, yeah, I just want to bring that up because I think I want to find a way to review, but I want to come up with a smarter way to do it. And now that I'm in it, in that I am playing a lot, I'm not so sure that writing out thoughts about the game is great yet. Maybe it would be better for players that are less mechanically tight, because then you can kind of like, but here it feels like it comes down to very, very small details. And oftentimes it's just like a 30-minute experience boils down to like, oh, you shouldn't have taken this fight because, you know, your support wasn't here. You know, it just feels like a lot of the time that the review is a very minimal review, I guess. But I'm going to look this back over, and I want to get the spreadsheet working and syncing with my games, and then think about how would be the best way to review. Maybe it just boils down to like, you review a day after, or you review an old session while starting a new session. I don't fucking know. But I need to think about that more, because I don't like this process. It's not a great process at the moment. This so far. Just because it's so tilty. You have to put the games in. That's the other thing, is you have to put the games in to climb. You have to put the volume in. Putting the volume in, you barely have, it feels like you barely have any time to stop and review, because you have to game, which we'll talk about a bit too. I've spent a lot of time studying high-level VODs. The stream can confirm this. I tried EOS, like Challenger VODs. They're not the same. They're not mechanically the same. They're not the same. I'm sorry. It's what it is. I know there's plenty of high elo players that have done well in Korea. I know that. I also know there's plenty of high elo players that use Riot accounts. I know that too. And I know there's pros who do that. It's not the same. It's not. The flow is not the same. Korean high elo VODs do feel the same. And so I've been studying those, and those have given me really good ideas. And I feel like the most progress I've had is just watching this high elo Hecarim guy play, watch him run around and see some of his ideas about game. And that has been good. Jungling is very strange here. There's lots of options, especially with the new jungle. This guy that I'm reviewing recently has always played very weird. But now it's like off the rails weird. And I'm just trying to get a method to the madness and the uncomfortability of solo queue, and like where I can and can't go, and what fights I should take and all that. Current goal is to spam jungle Hecarim at least for another week or so, and see if I can start seeing win streaks. That's kind of what I'm after. I have been playing a lot, and I honest to God, I don't think I've had an honest win streak of like more than 4 in forever. That's really bad. That I've had loss streaks. I have not had a win streak. So much so, that's not true. I had a Zach win streak at one point, I guess, but so much so, that it's like, I'm questioning a lot about the game. I'm quite like this. It's to the point where the jungle, like, I think my best bet seems to be, again, like ganking a lot of bot lane has given me the best starts and the best leads, but even that has its share of bad luck too. So I'm trying, my goal right now is to see if I could just make win streaks happen in the jungle more at this range. Like, that's all I want. I've worked at it for a while now, and I want to see it pay off. I don't know if it's going to pay off, but I really want to try to make it work. And again, I like playing Hacker, and I like playing jungle, and I like the challenge. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Now, Plat and Diamond in Korea is really not that much different in terms of player skill mechanically. I'm gonna be honest, I can barely feel a difference. I played up in High Diamond now. I've played up in Plat now multiple times, up and down. I honestly don't feel shit of difference. I mean that. I think it really does just feel like it's very streaky. I have not been, I didn't write this down, but I have not been dodging much either. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I fucking hate dodging, dude. I just fucking hate it. I think it's so bad for the game. It's so boring. But it definitely feels a lot more like you got to find something that's giving you those win streaks, and you just got to fucking fly over this diamond one wall. That's, again, something I'm going to be addressing in a bit. Oh, yeah. Despite not briefing well, the community I intend to stay on the role I clearly am struggling with until it doesn't feel like an LP anchor. That means jungle. I don't like giving up on things because they are hard. If my entire play style up until this point has been power farm and get big and win, and that's worked on NA to master, and then, you know, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. But here it doesn't work. So I'm gonna fucking stay with it and try to get win streaks. And I'm not gonna just go, oh, play top. Like, I thought about doing it the other week, but it's something doesn't sit right with me giving up. It feels like I'm a bad influence. It feels like I'm a bad inspiration. If I just give up when something is clearly beating me, I don't care about the negativity. I don't care about the, I know that if I just played top, I'd probably have a way better result right now. I know it, but I don't give a fuck. I would rather fucking struggle and suffer. And that's how I am. And I did it. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. But I'm going to make the win streaks happen, or go crazy trying, probably. So let's talk about the actual ladder, because I have a lot to say about this. Like, I talked about this. I want to talk about the ladder, and it's kind of fucked up at the moment. I'm only doing this to give people that are, like, again, that are just like open-minded, free-thinking motherfuckers, not just the dumbasses that parrot what somebody else says, or just haters that, like, don't play. Like, I'm talking about people that are interested in the ladder, interested in get better at the game, interested in climbing. I want to talk about a couple things that I'm noticing right now, so that you know, again, as a coach, one of the things I do is give you some knowledge, or just like, here, I'm running my head against the wall, so that later when I coach people, you don't have to do that. I say, if someone wants to climb in Korea, I tell you, don't do this. Don't ever do this. Do this, right? Let's talk about the problems with the ladder right now.